Good evening. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Shahiwa Jarrett Gellin. I'm the founder and president of the Broward County Black Chamber of Commerce, and we welcome you here tonight for a continuation in our spring series. Last month, we kicked off our spring series with customer service for small business, and tonight's topic is all about getting funded. Get funded for small business. During this National Small Business Week, we wanted to focus on a topic that many of our entrepreneurs have. How do I fund my business? Should I be looking for grants? What about loans? Are there other entities that I can count on and that are reputable that I can go to get low interest loans to start my business? There are lots of different questions about loans and other programs. And so we wanted to tackle that in tonight's program. So, welcome. You are in the right place. I want to go ahead and introduce your guest speaker for the night, who's very knowledgeable in this topic, and that's why we have him on. Brian Cunningham, as a National Development Council contracted Florida relationship manager, directing over 100 million business lending capital and technical assistance to small businesses in collaboration with an alliance of entrepreneurial community partners. That includes us. Co founder and president of Business Briefings LLC, a strategic business consulting firm specializing in the enhancement of business enterprises, new market expansions, risk management, real estate development, equity acquisitions, and succession planning. Brian formerly served as an entrepreneurship director at the Urban League of Broward County, where he provided strategic leadership and advocacy for disenfranchised business owners, and as such was able to deploy over $30 million in small business lending capital across the state of Florida, and provided technical assistance to minority small business owners. Brian considers himself a transformational strategist in helping business owners transform their ideas, dreams, and goals into reality. I'll also add that Brian is a board member of the Chamber and has been since our inception, so we know him very well. So, welcome, Brian Cunningham, to the program.
Thank you, Shahid. I appreciate you having me on here, presenting to the members of the board and to the community and all the folks out there that are watching small business owners. It is Happy Small Business Week. Uh,
Yeah, that's
I want
right.
to celebrate that, and I just want to say all the things that you're doing out in the community in terms of the chamber, what you're providing is one of the best chambers that I've ever been a part of, and you're making impact. So I just want to say thank you. And NDC, we are partners as well in this ecosystem, and we've got a lot of things to put out there. So we're ready to go get with the show.
All right. Well, I will go ahead and, go ahead and get your screen up there so you can share it. But while you do that, I wanted to mention why we have you on specifically and why and how NDC became a partner. This is crucial for our small business owners to understand. During the pandemic, we had many of our members who could not get any loan. They couldn't get through to any banks. They applied online for PPP and they got nothing. And if you all remember back, that was a very scary time, and in fact, still is kind of a scary time. But it was very nerve wracking. And there was a lot of anguish in our members trying to figure out what to do, how they were going to find funding. And I tell you, Brian was with NDC, and we were able to get a lot of our members to get with him. He worked with them through the process and completing the paperwork, and they were able to get their PPP within days. I had several members tell me I got my money within days, whereas I haven't even heard from my bank. So we understood that NDC was a reputable partner, and so we're just happy to have you here, Brian, presenting, because you are the funding guy. You know this space very well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, and I'll be sure to let you know, pop back on if we have any questions. So for those of you watching, I see that we have some watchers here. Please do not hesitate to ask questions as Brian presents these different options for funding. Thank you, Brian.
All right, thanks a lot. Well, wow. I just want to say it's been a great opportunity to really be out here to serve in the community, and with my position at the Urban League, and just had to get back out there and be an entrepreneur and to feel, the pain, feel the success of you as an entrepreneur. What better way to do that and to be out there, um, doing business with you. And there are a lot of folks that I do business with out there. I just appreciate what we're doing, and this can be a better time in South Florida to be business and having the opportunity to create. I read a statistic this week that a lot of folks are quitting their jobs, and for some reason as a result of the pandemic. And I think what it's done is given some folks some opportunity to really kind of dig down into their dreams and the opportunity to create their business, create that side hustle, or whatever it is that they needed to create. I would say, venture say, a lot of those folks are going to go and try to work, and, even though they quit their jobs, they want to work remotely so they can have the freedom and the flexibility to do what they need to do. But I just want to talk to you a little bit about MDC, who we are, what we do. We are a national CDFI, and what that is a CDFI is a community development financial institution. Basically, we are a nonprofit bank, been around since 1969, came out with the Kennedy era. President Kennedy and his brothers and some folks got together and saw the opportunity to create some opportunities for minority owned businesses, real estate development, and the like. So if you look at the impact, who we are so far since this, so what been doing with NDC, we've done over 88 million, over 880 million in affordable housing projects. We do new market tax credits, over 754 million in that area, and over $2 billion in P3 development. That's public-private partner development partnerships. So we do a lot around the country. We're headquartered in New York City, and actually in Brooklyn. We have over 75,000 people trained and practitioners, and we do finance training. I myself have gone through the particular training. I know there's several folks in South Florida in our ecosystem with banks and lenders and stuff that have gone through our training in finance and real estate development and the like. So we're really making an impact in the community, what we're doing, and the comprehensive things that we're doing is really, really driving home and improving the lives of our neighborhood and our businesses. And that's what it's all about. We've done over $259 million in small business loans, and over 1,000 technical assistance hours and clients that we're working with. I happen to be your Florida relationship manager, and I'm just excited to talk to you about the products that we have here in South Florida. Yes, we did help with the PPP. We did help with the SBA idle funding. And did you know that with that idle funding right now, if you've gotten it, there was an opportunity for you to go back and reapply to get some additional funding. That funding is a 30-year note at between 2.5% and 3% interest, and so that was the best time to be able to take. I don't think that's going to come back. The PPP is not going to come back, and so now the opportunity is hopefully you've gotten some of that money if you did and inject it into your business. Right now, I see the economy coming back. I see opportunities for business. There's a lot of commerce going on here in South Florida. We're just in the midst of our seasonal travel season. Folks coming in and out of town. Did you know that the travel business is a $112 billion industry in South Florida? And so a lot of our businesses are in the industry. What I do in my position, I get to learn a lot about a lot of different businesses, and I didn't know that there are a lot of minority Black-owned businesses here that have a lot of unique businesses, and it's exciting to see and go and work with them. I get to learn a lot about your business. I get involved with you to understand what it is that you're doing and see how we can help you and drive business to you, not just to loan you capital, but give you the training and the skills and things that you need to really hit home in your business. So let's talk a little bit about what we're doing over here in the community, in our community with Broward County. Let's see what we got here. So NDC has a program. We've partnered with Broward County Office of Business Development and Economic Development with Sandy's office. We've got a couple loan funds. First of all, we do have a loan fund. It's in the Broward County, Florida Municipal Service District, the BSMD. There are certain areas in South Florida that are unincorporated, actually in Broward County that are unincorporated. And so we have a lending program. It's low, flexible cost financing. It's through the county and the partnership with NDC. Maximum amount is up to 250,000. You can do it for commercial. It's all for provides financing for commercial real estate estate loans, equipment, supplies, working capital. But you have to be your business has to be operated within that municipal district. Like for instance, if you are in Broward County, over off of 441 and Peters, over in that corridor, just across on the west side of Peters and 441, going back over to 595. That is considered the unincorporated municipal district there for that. Over near the Urban League off of 27th, there's an area over there all the way up to Sunrise, over to 31st. There's an unincorporated area over there. So if you have a business over there, there's some special funding for you, particularly up in the northwest corridor of the county. There in the hills near Hillsborough County, up near Deerfield. There are some things up there. If you're in that area, there's some special loan funds as it relates to you in that area. So we've got a revolving loan fund. We've got to get this capital out. So if you're in that area, or if you want to know the map, just Google, put in Broward County Municipal Service District and revolving loan fund, and it'll come up, and you can kind of chart to see what you are. If not, I'll put my information in the chat, and we can kind of schedule some time to go over your business to see if you qualify for that area. The other thing is that we have the SOAR program. It's the Southern Opportunity Resiliency Fund. This program is not going to be very long. It's not going to be around. It started in April 2021, and it'll probably continue through next April at best. We've got about $8 to $9 million to put out in Broward County through this special loan fund and our partnership with the county. It's a maximum 100,000. We do for-profits and nonprofits. For-profits, it's going to be 4 to 4.5% interest, and 3.5% interest rate for nonprofits. I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to go to another screen here, and I'm going to basically walk you through what I have for that. 1 second. Let me see what we have. Let me share this other screen. There. Hopefully you can see that. So what we have here is the Small Business Lending Fund through NDC. Like I said, we've been around since '69, and we do all these different areas. Just to recap, but this is the small business lending that we do in this area. I just want to let you know that we are a authorized SBA lender as well. So when I go to this website, I want to show you, talk about what we do. We are in these different states, but I want to put in Florida, of course, and you'll see the SOAR program come up. Like I said, the maximum amount is 100,000, 50 or fewer employees, full-time employees, and the support is from minority and women-owned businesses. And so we click this on if you want to know more, given the fact you're in Florida. So through the SOAR program, like I said, that started in April 2021, loans up to maximum of 100,000. These are the states that we're in the southeast region of the United States of the nation. I also have been serving some part of Georgia as well. So if you have some folks in Georgia, let us know, reach out, and we can assist them out. But as it relates to Broward County right here, this is it. It's very flexible. It's working capital. You don't require a lot of documentation in terms of what you need. But like I said, it's a 5 or 6 year term. If you choose 6 years, that means you get to go interest only for the first 12 months to give you a chance to ramp up and get your revenue going. We see that anytime you inject some revenue into your business, there's a lag time before you start getting a return on that investment. So we give you 12 months to do that. Or if you're really flowing, it's a 5-year note, and it's principal interest up to, from the beginning. It's a 4% to 4.5% interest rate for profit businesses, and like I said, and 3 to 3.5% for not for profits. It's not associated with any other federal programs. It's not associated with PPP. It is combat COVID related. We've got 12 other CDFIs in the state of Florida that are servicing and doing this program as well. I'd like to say that NDC is leading the way in terms of Florida and getting the capital out the door. So I just want to commend the folks that have their business ready. There's some folks probably on this call, on this webinar, that have gotten the funding or are in the pipeline to get it. So we've seen a great increase since the announcement of the program in Broward County with our partnership, and the marketing is there. So if you've applied, give it, I'd say, about 14 days or so to get to answer. I'll be working with the underwriter. I'm your point of contact along the way in the program. So I can kind of see how your file progresses. I can help you provide you some assistance in getting that packet together. But let me just show you what we got here. So basically, there's a pre-application that starts. These are the information that you're going to have.
Brian,
Yes.
if you can switch your sharing screen, we're still seeing NDC loan programs.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Where are we at now? Let me go back here. I'm just in the flow. I didn't even know.
Fine, it's fine.
Can you see me now? So I'm gonna do this right here. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So this
Yes.
is where we are.
Yeah.
What I was talking to you about regarding the program, and how flexible it is, and what it is that you need to do to get into the program. So I was right here. Can you see that now? Shiva?
Yes, we can see that.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So this is a pre-application through the SOAR portal, but I just want to illustrate and show you how flexible this is. We're looking for folks that have been in business prior to 2019, looking at 2019 and 2020 business financials, tax returns, to see, you were at a certain level in 2019, you dipped in 2020 as a result of COVID, and this is a recovery fund. And so we're going to look at your most recently filed tax returns. Of course, now we're looking at 2021. However, if you filed an extension for 2021, we want to have that official extension so we can still move forward if we have 19 and 2020. We're going to look at your bank statements. We're going to look at the cash flow, or if you have some internally generated financials, balance sheet, profit and loss statement. We want to see those as well, because we're going to take that information, and I'll talk to you how we calculate that information as well in a minute. We're going to be looking at anyone with business that has 21 or 20% or more ownership in the business. We're going to require your personal information as well. So it's personal and business tax returns. Minimum credit score is about 620. We've seen it go down a little bit if we can show that you've injected capital into your business as a result of through COVID. And there's some areas that we can work if we have a conversation with the underwriter and make a case on your behalf. Of course, your ID. There'll be executed attestation form that you'll required by the lender with the NDC. Evidence of your SunBiz that is active. You know that Sunday night, last Sunday at 11:59 p.m., that you had to have your business renewal for your SunBiz. Hopefully everyone did that, because I'll be checking that when I meet with you, and we'll be going over that. That was about $138, but if you missed it, you can still do it and get reinstated. But right now, if you didn't, your business is inactive. It's going to cost you about $400 to get that done. So be aware of those deadlines, and that'll be one thing that we want to know about: is the business operating? Is it a legally registered business here in the state of Florida? We're going to look at have you write a brief description about how COVID impacted your business, particularly a restaurant business, any retail businesses that were shut down. If you had a gym or some things that shut you down, you could not operate. Hopefully you got your PPP money. Hope you got your idle money. This is a continuation of this. But evidence of the formation, we may ask for operating agreement to see, particularly in businesses that have partnerships. We want to look at the bylaws for your nonprofit. We're going to make look at in terms of the board structure. Now, in the nonprofit, it's just there will be one individual, usually the executive director or someone, that's going to guarantee that loan on their personal. There's no collateral required with this loan. You just personally guarantee um, for the business owners that are within the program. So that's how it works. Once we do that, there'll be a little questionnaire. We just do a pre-application. Let's just say you want to borrow 100,000, and I usually walk my folks through this process. Select reason. We want working capital, of course, right? There's some other things that you can select. Starting a business. Some of these questions are going to be by default to basically understand where you're going to get you qualified, to get you pre-approved. Working capital. We want to know the day. We want to know what's the name of the business. We're going to say business briefings LLC. How's that? We're going to type the business type. I'm an LLC. I'm in the industry of finance. Selecting time of business. Let's say I've been in business 3 years or more. I put my information there. Continue on. My name, Brian Cunningham. See autofill. How you want to be taught? I need an email. I need a record of that. I always put the email. That way, if you got a record, you can track that email, check your spam. I'm a morning person, so you can contact me in the morning. So boom, I do that. What was your total revenue last year? Did about somewhere in that range, between 100,000 and 250. Did it profit in 19? Yes. What was the profit? I think we walked away with about 86,000. And a lot of times on your tax returns, on your financials, you're showing that you're losing, you're not making money. However, I would encourage you, you want to turn that around, because if you think about it, if you're making an extra $25,000 a year in your business, that can support the debt. Let's do this. In a number of employees, got 3. Any bankruptcies now? Continue. Of course, do you have collateral to support the loan? Yeah, but it's not required, so we're gonna put that down there. I don't have to use any collateral. What's the revenue I look to make this year? Well, of course, I'm looking to get to. I'm getting $500,000. You have a business plan? Everyone should have a business plan. If not, I'm put the information in the chat, and I can assist you with that. Is your business owned by? Yes, we are. We are a minority, African American. Boom. Credit scores around here. So, boom, you get this. We get a pre-application. Congratulations, you've been matched, Brian. That's how simple it is in terms of getting pre-qualified. Now, there's some other CDFIs in here that you can choose from. But of course, yours truly, I'm your relationship manager. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to see you. When you're doing your business plan and you look at your competition, you look at what the differentiator is. With this differentiator is that I'm boots on the ground right here in Broward County. We have partnerships in Broward County with all the organizations, the Alliance of Entrepreneurship Resource Organizations that we have here, and we all work together. And so, of course, you're going to get that quality service from NDC, because you got yours truly here representing, and myself, Joe Gray, who's my national director, but definitely a competent brother that is my mentor in what we're doing in this program. Boom. So I do that, and then boom, I automatically get an email that's generated that said you've been matched with NDC. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing and go back to the screen, and that's how easy it is. I get you pre-qualified, but I normally walk the folks through the portal, and then what I do is I go and I contact one of my folks over at NDC. Her name is Anika. I send the information over to say, hey, Brian's been matched with NDC through the SOAR loan program. Can you send them out the link, the portal, for them to starting to apply? For those who did the PPP with NDC, it's called the Spark portal. It's a loan portal. It's a secure portal. Do not send me any financial information on my email or anything. We've got the secure portal for that, and so that you can be secured to know that your financials and things are uploaded in the secure portal. Once that, you'll get that email with a link to join the Spark program from NDC. And at that point, because what I do, like I said, I send it over there, and within an hour, you've got the link to start applying. So if you have all your documents, you have everything that you need that we talked about in a file, which you should have, you can have this application completed within an hour, and submit it. It's that easy. And then once it's submitted, you just let me know. Send me an email. Hey, Brian, it's been submitted. Or if you're having some challenges with that, let me know. I can provide you some technical assistance. I'll be checking the portal along the way to see how it's progressing. At some point, there may be a conversation prior as we process it with myself, you, the business owners, and the underwriter. How often is that do you do some banking and you get a loan and you get an opportunity to speak to the underwriter? Typically, an underwriter somewhere in Iowa, somewhere up under a desk, calculating, doing the spread. This loan, this is a good loan, this is not, and they don't understand the market here in Florida. But at NDC, we have the state of Florida. We understand the market. We understand the seasonality of your businesses. We understand what we're doing, and I'm here to help articulate that in the loan report as to the need for capital. And I will say that at some point, NDC, we never give out denial letters. It's not a denial, it's a delay. It's about these are the steps that you need to get to a yes. And I just say trust the process if that's the case. Don't get your feelings hurt. This is just business. It is a risk to loan out capital. And I would say on my watch with NDC, going back to even the days that the Urban League, and they helped us put the capital out and helped us get the RCDFI at the Urban League. No defaults, and that's key. So we want to work with you once you get the funding. We will know that you're ready. And so how we're going to calculate if you qualify for that 100,000 is that we're going to run an analysis on your monthly cash flow, on your net operating income, and what your yearly income was in the last 2 years, and maybe the last quarter of this, and the first quarter numbers of this year, because they're probably up. And we're going to run analysis and determine how much debt you can service on a monthly basis. Okay, so if you get 100,000, there's a 4% closing cost that's going to come out of the proceeds. So that would be about 96,000 that you would get operating capital. Once we loan you the funding, there's some training, some things that we want to be involved. I'm going to be doing site visits probably on a quarterly basis, checking in with you. There may be some opportunities that are going on in Broward County, RFPs with the cities or whatever it is your business model is. I'm going to help drive business to you because I want to help you so that you can pay that loan back, but also to help you grow. If you're doing marketing, we know we're going to help you do the marketing. We're going to help you understand what about over here, what about this. And so that's the great thing about what we do at NDC and having bringing the value here to Broward County to be able to help you further your business. There are some questions in the chat, but I don't see that. Let me see comments. Okay, we do have some questions. I'm done sharing, Shahiwa. So, are there any things? Is live chat? Is the live chat here? I don't see any questions. You're mute.
Saw one comment I think that I posted. I did have a question though, as I look for comments though, Brian. You mentioned that there were other CDFIs, but you mentioned interest rates and the process. I just wanted it to be very clear what sets NDC apart, because I know when people, small business owners, look for funding and they go to a bank, the process may seem, I don't know, a bit arduous, difficult, and people may start the process but not finish. And so, is there that difference? Because I understand CDFIs were created to make that process more community based, for people to be able to take into account the different needs of that particular
Exactly.
community and business owner. So is the process less arduous? And how does NDC stack up against some of the other CUFIs in the area with regard to rates and maybe the process,
Okay, great.
application
Great
process?
question. First of all, I want to talk about one. NDC is the SBA lender, and so those numbers, that interest rate, those are things across the board that's going to be pretty much standardized in terms of interest rate and the time it takes to get things done. Um, but what I think the differentiator here is that NDC is focused on technical assistance and training. We're in the cities. We're going to be doing a 4-part series that started tonight in the city of Dania Beach in the Business Academy series. Joe is going to be speaking at the Broward and Beyond conference as it relates to lending. We'll have a booth there. But the technical assistance, doing a one-on-one consultation, I do some with folks weekly. We go over your numbers. We go over your financials. If there's a legal entity here, we connect you with some legal resources. So it's all about technical assistance and training and raising the bar in terms of your business acumen, in terms of how it relates to running your business. And that's the difference between a lot of folks. We spend a lot of time um, running our business, but we need to take time to step away to be able to work on our business. It's like a car. You're going to drive it, or you're going to drive that car till the wheels fall off, but you need to make sure that your car is properly maintained, so that in the stressful times that it's going to carry you through, just like it in your business. I got a contract, and they said, Brian, with one of the cities, you need to have X amount of liability insurance and da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
I had it. I had more than what I needed. And
Nice.
so having those things in place, knowing to anticipate when you have that capital. So my job is to provide the one-on-one consultation with you. I'm your boots on the ground with the organization. The difference between us and the bank is that the banker, the loan officer in the bank isn't going to sit down with you and provide technical assistance.
True.
You know, and that can be kind of disenfranchising. What we want to do is help you get to that point. Prime example, we started with a young lady that has a daycare over on 27. She had 2 kids in a house that she was babysitting. Brian, I want a loan for my business. Okay, well, we're not going to do that. But this is what we can do. If you can trust the process, go through the training that you need to get to, we can help you get there. I found a business that was sunsetting a daycare that was setting on 27th. And she went in there and was the director because she had all the credentials. Went in there and worked it for a year, turned the books around, got everything together. We put a contract in place through legal aid, and got her some assistance with some accounting, and got her a loan so that she was able to cash out those business owners to keep it moving.
Like it.
Now, fast forward 2-3 years down the road. Now she has an opportunity. Another business wants to come and sell their business, but they've got the building, the land, and the business.
Nice.
Okay, so we got our PPP all through this process. Now we're looking at, 1.4, $1.5 million opportunity here with this business because they've gone through it true and true, and they've sustained themselves. They've proven that they can do this. They can run their business. And all along, they've got my personal cell. We're talking, and so that's the differentiator, I think. Anything in business is customer service. It's the response to what you need to do. Because I'm the person, I'm going to see you out in the community.
Right.
I'm going to see you at the festival. I'm going to see you at the with the Jazz in the Gardens. I'm going to see you over on Los Olas somewhere for dinner, and I'm going to see you, and you're going to come up to me, Brian, you didn't call me back. And so I want to be accountable for you. So it's really about helping the folks empower themselves and getting the capital they need to really kind of impact the community. And we also take it a step further, and we look at succession planning. Is your house in order? Are you doing the things that you need to do if something were to happen to you and your partner? And so those are the things that help you make a healthy loan to pay it back. And, if you've ever paid a loan back, you know what that feeling is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go on, and now your approach to do a bigger opportunity. So it's really about legacy planning for the business in Broward County. That's what these funds are about to do. And that's the personal, I take it personal in terms of working with small businesses because I'm out here with you. I know I'm a contractor for NDC. I'm out here with you in this struggle, in this fight together. And let me tell you, so you didn't tell me it was going to be like this. I started my business in the middle of a pandemic. So, but when you take that leap of faith, thank goodness for the Urban League. It gave me an opportunity to really know the community
Hmm.
and the foundation. We're all partners in this ecosystem. We refer clients back and forth, and so we've got a great community here to help the entrepreneurs in this community. I don't think a lot of the other organizations have that touch the MOUs and things. I don't know, but I can just tell you, from working with NDC on the as a side with a partner, and now working on the inside, it's very consistent and it has great continuity in what we're doing.
No, I thank you for this, Brian, because I think there are a lot of questions, and obviously people are reluctant to ask sometimes the questions surrounding how they get that funding when it comes to loans, you know, um, and why there are some grants out there. And I'll kind of talk about that briefly at the end. If you're starting a for-profit business, typically studies show you're dipping into your pocket to fund it through your savings. Studies show that people dip into their 401k or 403bs, those type of long-term retirement savings to fund, their businesses. Or obviously they're looking for a loan of some sort that is low interest, that they can actually get their business going. Obviously if you have some type of innovative product or service, then people sometimes try to get that funded through angel investors and things like that. But the typical way to get funded is you're either funding it yourself through friends and family or your savings, or you're going to be getting a loan. And that's why we want to tackle this
Mhm.
topic, because we have to understand that reality that you're going to get some type of loan, or you start your business and you're kind of going, and you may need a line of credit of some sort to
Mhm.
kind of keep you going. So we wanted to make sure we got you on to talk about some of the
Right.
products available
And
in the market.
and the other thing is that other thing we try to do is I source the capital. We'll source the capital. Say you're looking for a particular type of capital, and what we have doesn't meet your needs. So in this ecosystem of all of us working together, I can
Hmm.
call up an organization. I can call up another CDFI. I can call up the Urban League and say, "Hey, we've got a different program. Can you help us up with this product? I've called up TD Bank. They've got a line of credit for up to 100,000. They need some work. Can you do it like this? So we work together and understanding your market, understanding the products that the other organizations offer. We can help you save time, you know, to source it and say, is this person ready? And I make a warm lead referral,
Right.
warm referral over to the organization, a different institution. Say, hey, I've talked with this client. What do you think? Blah blah blah. Do you think they help them? Great. I'm gonna do a connection so that we can make that happen. So
Nice.
that rarely happens.
Yeah.
We're not competing against anyone. We're all in this ecosystem, and so there's one product out there that's going to be, beneficial to you. And we want to make sure that you get to it, whether it's NDC, whether it's whomever, BBIF, or whoever that we're working with.
Right. Right. Which makes sense. And
Yeah,
and that's the beauty of that. It's helping people navigate that system because what's out there.
yeah, yeah.
Whereas as a small business owner, you're focused on your business, running your company. So you may not know all of the products, all of the entities, all of the programs that you may be able to
All
qualify.
the resources. Yeah. Now I
Mhm.
would say that. So there's another program out here that for my startups, for the folks that are, 18 months or less, or even them, there's a lot of grant opportunities out here. And one business we've been able to get this young lady, we've got her over $85,000
Mm.
this past year in just grant money, pitch competitions.
Okay.
So if you can perfect that, you could raise, capital, and that's free money
Yeah.
other than the 1099 you're going to get. But so don't be discouraged if you don't qualify. That right there will give you some stay power. I know my business. I loaned the business the capital. So
Mhm.
on my profit and loss, my liabilities over there, it says loan from Brian.
Right. Exactly.
And so those are the types of things that we want to get down and work with you on to say, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this, to help you be sustainable in this world of finance? Because you're always going to be looking to get some capital injected. Also, perfecting your pitch. We've got one young lady we've loaned her money. We've done things. Now she's in the seed funding round of
Okay.
some really like 1 point something million to be injected in, pitching to venture capitalists now.
Nice.
So
Nice.
those are the things that we want to see. Those are the things that are expanding, and so we want to work with you along the way to see ensure your success. So you, because they said, I remember Jermaine asked me, "What's your legacy going to be?
Mm-hmm.
What is your legacy going to be, Shahiwa, when they talk about it? What is your legacy in your business? What is it going to be when you leave here?" My legacy is that I want to make sure that I've helped enough businesses to grow that say, "Hey, he got me the money what I needed to get.
Right.
He helped me." Even
Yeah,
when he helped me when he saw it when it was raggedy, and now we're here. We are to the now. Started from the bottom. Now you're here, and so that's
exactly.
the key thing. That's the differentiator that we're
Hmm.
doing in this market.
I love that. Thank you, Brian. That's a great way to end that. And I think I appreciate the fact that you talked about the fun, but then talked about, how if you have a business that's able to do some of that, it's innovative and you can pitch, you can help with that too. You can
Absolutely.
help get them there too. So I want you to I guess put your information on the screen if you can and share that.
I put
Or
it
I
in the
can drop it in.
private chat. Look, I put it in the chat, but it says it's private. Let me see here.
Well, then I'll share it. I think I can share it out
Let me
with
share it.
everybody then.
The
Yeah.
rest of the emails there. I'll be at the Broward and Beyond. Hopefully, everybody's registered for Broward and Beyond conference, right?
Yeah.
That is the Super Bowl of Broward County business. I know Shahiwa, you're on the panel.
Yes, I am. I
And
am on it.
so we want to really come out and support. Stop by the NDC booth. I have some more information for you. Or feel free to email me and the email that she's putting up in the chat.
Yeah, I put your information in the chat. So Brian's phone number as well as his emails out there for you all. So thank you again, Brian, for being here. I hope you all paid extra attention to the documents you need. Brian went through meticulously to kind of give you a really good idea of the type of package that you need to put together. And obviously, if you need that help to get through that process, you can give Brian a call or email or a shout.
Adonai, thanks for you. And I would say that for those of out there who are watching and that are not members of the chamber, you need to join the Broward County Black Chamber of Commerce because we're doing things. We're knocking it out the box. So kudos to you and kudos to the chamber.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for being here. Everyone, I hope you were able to gain a lot of knowledge. I think oftentimes um, getting a grant or qualifying for a loan, a line of credit can seem a bit mysterious or it makes people nervous. I mean, I've had those conversations with our members. So we wanted to tackle getting funded through these specific programs that NDC offers. I also wanted to briefly talk about looking for grants. You know, that's a very popular topic. People love talking about grants and getting grant funding. And that is a viable way to get funding, but you'll typically get grants in spurts, meaning small amounts. And so is that enough to sustain a business? Typically it's not. You're going to have to find a more viable way to do that. And that's why you hear business people talk about, loans or lines of credit, obviously once they get it going. So I wanted to just mention briefly a couple of resources that we typically put in our newsletters for our business owners. One resource is that we put grants from corporations in our newsletter. So, for instance, we've posted grants from Fiserv. There was one from FedEx not too long ago that came out that we posted, and there's a current grant running. It's called the Up and Running Grants by eBay. If you Google that, you can find it, and I'll try to drop that in the chat as well. So there are corporations that on an annual basis, each and every year, they're offering small business grants. So that's one way to get some funding. Like I said, though, they tend to be smaller amounts, about $10,000 or so, which is the case with the Up and Running grant. And sometimes they come with technical assistance. I'm seeing more and more that these corporate grants are coming with that additional help not just the money. They're not just giving the money away, but saying, hey, here's some additional help, whether it be in helping you with logistics or marketing, and you have to go through some of those trainings, and then you get the grant funding. But the point is, the funding is available, but then you have this additional benefit of getting some training that will help you ensure that your business is viable in the long term. Another really good resource is look at the city in which you live in. There was a lot of CARES Act dollars as well as the ARPA funds, the American Rescue Plan Act, those funds. And those funds came down in two different waves. And recently, the second wave, a lot of counties and cities should be receiving, as well as states, should be receiving money again. So please look to the city that you're in to see if they're offering grants for small businesses that are located in their city. I know that several cities in Broward County throughout the pandemic offered grants through the CARES Act dollars. And in particular, there were a few cities that offered it with the ARPA funds this year. I know for a fact that the city of Miramar offered a micro grant once they received their ARPA funds. So you want to look on your city's website, and maybe they're posting on their social media. But I know throughout the pandemic, we scoured different sites and found that, City of Sunrise, Oakland, Tamarack, various cities offered grants when they received the CARES Act funding. And this will be the case with the ARPA funding. So that's another resource. And typically, they're going to require what Brian just talked about, income tax return, a business tax receipt. They tend to keep it very simple because usually their requirement is to show that you were in operation before the pandemic or before a very specific period of time, and that you in fact have your business tax receipt. And then, you want to show, they want to know that you're financially viable, so they ask for your tax returns. The last place I want to talk about to look for funding is through the county. I know that aside from the cities receiving CARES Act dollars and ARPA funds, our county received a significant amount. I know during the pandemic, there was a CARES Act grant that went out. Now, there are specific grants that are out right now, and I'll give example. For instance, there's currently an artist support grant. So if you're an artist and you support yourself through the arts, there's a grant that the Broward County Cultural Division is offering. So I'm just kind of giving you, examples of different places that you can look for grants because they are out there. So there's some funding associated with that. The funds go directly to individual artists of all disciplines for projects that include a public event. It's called Artist Support Grant, and the deadline is June 10th. So, I'll put that in the chat as well. You can Google that Broward Cultural Arts Division grant, and that should pop up for you as well. So you kind of have, grants for different types of businesses. I kind of want to cover both. So make sure you're looking through, annual grants that corporations offer. Make sure you're looking at a state, county, and city grant resources. And then if you have a specialty, you're in a special industry, like you make your living from being an artist, a painter, a photographer. You create these wonderful artistic type experiences, then you are eligible for a county grant. I would also say that, and I'll put this in the chat as well. There are some grants available through the federal government, and we'll post some of that as well. But I just wanted to close today by giving you some options and saying, yes, obviously, the most frequent way that small businesses fund themselves is through the savings of the founder. And then once they get up and running, there may be some line of credit that they receive. But loans are the next, more frequent way that people fund their businesses. So you want to make sure that you're getting a very good interest rate on that loan, really good terms. So you're paying it over a term that makes sense. So the payments are small enough that you're not using up all of your revenue or your profits on, servicing that loan. And that's why we wanted to have NDC on, because they actually helped our members. They have very low rates, long servicing terms. And then you have someone like Brian that can help you through the process. So I hope you found this session valuable. Please make sure you stay tuned, because we're going to continue our series. We will be at the Broward Business and Beyond conference on Friday. As Brian mentioned, I'll be moderating a session, but our table will be there, so you can find out more about what the Chamber is up to, what we're doing, how we're helping not only our members, but also helping small businesses in the Broward community and beyond. So once again, thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you found tonight's session very valuable, and we'll see you at the next event. Have a good evening.